It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Welcome to the program. It is County-Wide. I'm Brad Miller, and we're happy to welcome a guest doing the second of two parts with Sarah Townsley. Sarah's with the Yavapai County Office of Emergency Management. She is the PIO there and an emergency management specialist. We say welcome back to the studio, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
Good to talk to you again. And great stuff in our first segment. Folks heard the other day, and YavapaiReady.gov is one of the websites, YCSO.gov, the place to look for some of that information. And we talked about the Genesis program, and that was a real eye-opener for the latest technology and the ways that the county and the emergency management department goes about protecting us and getting us prepared in the event of emergencies, wildfires, flooding, whatever those kinds of things may be. I want to talk to toward a number of things on this segment, beginning with the Ready, Set, Go, which has been established for a little while now. But for anyone who's not familiar, the Ready, Set, Go program, it's an old saying that every little kid on the schoolyard learns. So it's been co-opted to help with emergency management. Talk to me about that. Ready, Set, Go. What's it mean?
Yeah, Ready, Set, Go. It's actually the all hazards evacuation steps that was adopted by Arizona. So it's 3 steps, and we encourage everyone in Arizona, whether you're visiting, on vacation, or you live here permanently, get to know. So Ready, you start by preparing for possible threats within your community, and technically we are always in Ready. Right now we're in Ready, unless we're in Set and Go.
Right.
Set, you want to maintain awareness of there's obviously possibly a significant threat in your area.
Something is happening. Yeah.
You may need to get ready to evacuate. You may need to start collecting your emergency kit, your pets, your papers, all that good stuff. And Go is you evacuate now. You listen to the alerting authorities. You follow their directions, their evacuation routes. You get the heck out.
Yeah. Thinking about that with the Go orders, and a lot of times folks have it in their head about, where they're going to go. Well, I'll go and I'll stay with my daughter, or I'll go, and all of this. You may not have access to the daughter. The fire, say, may be in that direction. That portion of the road is impacted or closed or what have you. So you've really got to take a kind of a broad approach and have kind of sort of not just one Ready, Set, Go plan, but several. Yeah. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah. Usually the evacuating alerting authorities will have the proper evacuation route to get you to where you're going. And when an emergency happens and people need to evacuate, we work with the American Red Cross and other sheltering agencies to set up shelters. And that way people know where they can go.
Yeah.
And if they have pets, we have some amazing volunteer groups. We work with Laser, the large animal sheltering and emergency readiness.
I've got to talk to them.
Yes, they're awesome.
They really are.
Yeah. They do domestic livestock, and they're amazing people. And they set up shelters for people with, chickens and horses and cows, goats, all that good stuff. And we also work with animal disaster services.
Right.
And they do more of your sheltering for your dogs, your cats, your
domestic
hamsters.
pets.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, and see, here, these are things we don't even think about.
Right.
So that bounces us back to the first one, the Ready. And I want to spend a minute on that. When we talk about being ready, and we should be getting ready right now, we talk about having like a go bag.
Yeah.
And that should include like prescription medications if you have them, some extra ones or something labeled, so it's there, it's by the door or someplace that's clearly accessible to you so that you can grab it on the way out. And this sounds like gangster superhero type stuff, but this situation can happen, and it has happened. Anybody who's been through it is going to be thankful that they were ready with this program. What is Ready? Let's kind of spice or pull that apart a little bit. Ready means what? What should I do today so that I'm ready?
There are so many things you can do to get ready, but basically what you said, start with an emergency kit. That's what we recommend. They're very easy to throw together. We can go off the 5 Ps of evacuation. You want to have your people. You want to have, prescription medications that you may need, some extra ones. important papers and documents, marriage licenses, birth certificates, social security cards, personal needs, extra toothbrushes, some toothpaste, water. Water's a big one. We recommend, I believe it's 72 hours worth of water, and it's a gallon per person per day. And you got to think of your pets too. If you've got pets, they're going to need water and food and all that good stuff. Non-perishable food items. That's a great thing to store in your emergency kit just in case. And priceless items. So things that you would just be incredibly sad about if you were
jewelry,
lost.
say.
Yeah, jewelry, family heirlooms.
We used to talk about photos, and in the digital age, that's kind of changed a little bit. But anything that's important to you that cannot be replaced.
Yes.
If, say, there's a fire or flood, if the damage does come right up onto your door and into your living room and into your home, what are the things that you cannot part with? And those 5 Ps list all of them, or a good many of those kinds of things. Sometimes I wonder if we don't do these things because now it's on our mind and now it scares us a little bit, because there can be anxiety about it. During fire season, you see smoke and people pay attention to it around here, as well they should. And do you ever kind of feel that folks just, if you're not ready, it's because, it's kind of like planning for your own funeral. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's an important thing to do. Exactly.
I think you hit it on the head. And as much anxiety as fires and floods and, any number of emergencies can give us, it's better to be prepared than sorry. We tell people to be prepared and not to be scared.
Yeah.
Prepared, not scared.
It's better to be, yeah. So there's ready, there's set. When we talk about set, and we chatted a tiny bit about this in our first segment, that it is not given lightly, the go order, the evacuation order. Our emergency responders and officials really do understand what they're saying to people when when you say someone leave your home.
Yes.
So that order is not issued without a lot of thought and a lot of preparation, and that's what you folks work on all the time. Yeah. How does that kind of happen? I know every situation is going to be different. Every place that it can occur is going to be different. But how many different kinds of players or hands are in on that when we say, well, it's time to evacuate east side of Cottonwood? Local police will be on. Who would be on a decision like that? Yeah,
you have your local police and alerting authority. You've got fire agencies. You probably have state fire. If there's a national forest involved, you've got them. Sure. You have obviously emergency management,
right?
And local leaders. Your board of supervisors for the county. You think city mayors, town mayors, all that good stuff. There's a lot of people coming together and, making these collective decisions, because it's not a decision that they make lightly.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is. You don't want to wait too long. You don't want to be premature. It's just not something that we just, let's just get them out of the way in case, that's, well, it is, but it can be a big deal. It can be more than an inconvenience. It can become a health hazard in its own. Yeah. A lot of people trying to move quickly to a different place, that can be interesting. And you guys have thought about it and planned for it and ready to all of us for that. We need to take another short break, so we'll do that. Again, our guest is Sarah Townsley. It's kind of summer kickoff season here with our Memorial Day holiday getting us into summer. Want to talk about a little bit of heat safety that we should all know by now, but we're talking to you, tourists and visitors as well. Some swimming pool safety, make sure that campfire is out and those kinds of things. We'll do that with Sarah Townsley, Yavapai County Office of Emergency Management. It's countywide. We're back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley. And your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology, factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates Locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdisolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and our guest, Sarah Townsley, is the Yavapai County Office of Emergency Management, PIO. And Sarah, we get summertime going, and that means backyard swimming pools and things like that, even kiddie pools. And we just do want to mention those can pose a hazard. So supervision with little kids, obviously, but swimming pool safety is something we always need to kind of think about. I know emergency management kind of has a different purview than this, but we want to mention that because it is summertime, and whether it's the river or the backyard pool or even the kiddie pool, we got to be careful.
Absolutely, yeah. We always want to make sure that we are swimming supervised, especially with kids. And wearing your sunblock, making sure that kids are wearing the proper flotation devices suitable for their age and stuff like that. Yeah. And even establishing a buddy in the pool or the river when you're swimming, who's going to watch your back and keep an eye out for you, because sometimes those currents are strong.
Oh, yeah. Oh heavens. We know that. Even like I remember when my kids were small, dropping them off at the public school or pool where there's a lifeguard, but you say, hey, you mentioned the buddy system. That kind of clicked for me. It's like, keep an eye on, one another. Those are always kind of important things. Let's talk about campfires.
Yes.
Campfire season. As we record this program, I don't believe we have any fire restrictions. They'll probably come as they do every summer on our national forests and whatnot, but campfire safety is just always huge. That's where so much trouble can happen if we're not careful.
Never leave a campfire unattended, and never leave it burning or smoldering. We recommend that you follow the Smokey the Bear guidelines, as we say. I believe it's drown, stir with a shovel, drown, stir with a shovel. You drown, stir, repeat, and then they recommend to feel it with the back of your hand to make sure that it's not smoldering, and make sure that it's out before you leave.
Think about that. Now, I don't want anybody to get injured. I had a firefighter tell me years ago, you should be able to stick your hand in that muddy mess. Now, that's out, know, and until it's that far, and I just wonder if folks, it's hard for me to picture anyone just walking away from a fully lit campfire. I think most people have a good intention, and that can be part of the problem. You just don't drown it enough.
Yes.
Whether it means water and or sand, whatever you've got to do. And remember, the bigger the fire you make, the trickier it's going to be, or more intensive it's going to be to get it out. But gosh, it's so important. It's incredible what the wind can do. You break camp in the morning, you think you got that campfire out, but the afternoon wind is going to have something to say about it. So it's so important.
Incredibly important. And I know, the National Forest, they have a hard time every year going around and checking campfires and making sure that they're fully out after people leave.
Yeah.
That's a big part of their job.
Yeah.
They're the real heroes.
Yeah. Well, and they are, and they can't do it all.
Right,
they would if they could, but you don't know where everybody's camped necessarily. In designated campgrounds, it's a little bit easier, but out on the open forest, it's got to be the user's responsibility. Mm-hmm. We talk about sometimes backyard fires with the chimeneas and things like that. That's a little more. And sometimes ashes get thrown in fireplaces. We think of that as more of a wintertime issue, but that's important too. Those backyard fires, safety with kids running around, cooking hot dogs and marshmallows and things like that. All of these things bear, kind of acknowledging. I want to mention helmet safety. We're a little bit off of what Yavapai Emergency Management does, but as we're on these kinds of things, the quads and the side-by-sides, and the kids are out doing that kind of stuff. And I always say kids because a lot of times I see youngsters without helmets. Mm-hmm. Put the helmets on.
Put the helmets on. Wear them.
do those kind of things. Something else I saw on your website was something about a smart 911 safety profile.
Yes.
I've got my dad has mobility issues, and it sounds like it's for folks who maybe can't just get up from the couch and run out of the house if they need to. They may have difficulty. Is that what that's for?
Yeah, Smart 911. It's actually called Rave Prepare, powered by Smart 911.
Okay.
And it's an access of functional needs database where people who do have, like you said, mobility issues or people on medically powered devices, really it's for anyone. You can go to, I believe it's smart911.com, or you can go to our website.
Sure.
There's a link to that there. And you can go on and register and sign up and put in as much or as little information about what you might need help with. There's buttons in there that you can, boxes to check if you may need help during an evacuation, that you may have mobility issues. If you are on a medically powered device and there's a power outage, and, stuff like that.
Supplemental oxygen.
Yes.
Okay.
It goes so deep that you can even put your pets in there, and you can upload little pictures of them and, put their names in there. That way, in case of an emergency or an evacuation, the people who need help evacuating, they could say, my pet needs help too. And,
right.
We'll have access to that information.
It seems, especially like we mentioned at the top, folks worry about privacy and issues like that. And of course, we understand that. But especially if someone does have some kind of special needs, whatever they may be, and if they can't quickly communicate that to emergency responders, time is life.
Yes.
When that's happening, not only for the safety of the homeowner or who is ever in there, but for the first responders themselves. And if they know who you are and where you are and that you can't walk yourself, or if you have someone with mental issues where they're not going to respond in the same way as someone else might, it's really important and beneficial for the first responders to know that.
Absolutely.
Going in, and now they're looking for it, and they understand, and they can address it. So we would encourage folks, whoever can, and to take a look at that. And as Sarah said, enter as much or as little as you would like, but any heads up, any additional information you can give them before they even get to your door is going to be a benefit if the emergency does come.
Yes, and it is all HIPAA compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best part.
No, I'm glad you said it. Explain that, though. HIPAA is what?
It is the privacy for your healthcare.
Disclosing someone's, Yes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So if it's on there, it can't be shared.
Exactly.
Except with the people who are pertinent to your rescue and those kinds of things. I'm glad you mentioned that. We need to take a final break. Sarah Townsley, our guest, Yavapai County Office of Emergency Management. When we come back, we've got some websites and that kind of information so you can look in depth about Ready, Set, Go, find out about the Genesis program, find out about different ways that the emergency management folks have worked to make a safer community for us. It's countywide. We'll be back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
Welcome back. Our final segment and two programs with Sarah Townsley. So much information to talk about out of the Yavapai County Office of Emergency Management. And we thank all of you, your team, everybody behind you that helps put these things together. And we talked during one of our breaks, I think, about how we take you for granted, just like we do with fire and police so often. But boy, when we need you badly. And so we appreciate the work that the Emergency Management Office does and the good people there. One of the things that I know we mentioned in our first segment as we talked about the zones for the Genesis program, they're not all completed yet. I don't know that I asked you about that or mentioned that. So there are some works in progress. You can sign up, but there's going to be some more kind of fine-tuning. Right, yes. So currently we've got zones in the unincorporated areas of Yavapai County. So you want to think like Kirkland, Wilhoit, Mayer. Okay. Camp Verde has it. Jerome has them. The town of Dewey-Humboldt. And then all of the other jurisdictions are working on their contracts. So we hope to be the first county in Arizona to have evacuation zones everywhere. We're actually really excited. Be prepared. Any idea on the time frame? Soon. Yeah. We hope. Okay. We've been working on it hard, so yes. It'll be happening fairly quickly. All right. So get signed up for that if you haven't already, and go through the YCSO, the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office website. A good kind of starting place. Beyond that, YavapaiReady.gov. And then if you want to look at the protect.genesis.com, GENASYS, real impressive. I thought it was really pretty cool. It's just a peek behind the curtain at how modern technology is always at work to kind of make our community a little bit safer. Ready, set, go. We talked about in this program, this segment, and boy, that's so important. If you're not ready just yet, and Sarah kind of described those parameters, get ready soon. You don't know when the fires can come or the floodwaters can rise or whatever the case may be. And then that Smart 911 safety profile, I think that's real handy because I've got elderly parents and they should be on that if it's in their community, kind of letting people know if you're in a wheelchair or have supplemental oxygen or whatever the case may be. That's really a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited to have that and to offer that to the community. So the first responders know as much about you as they can. It'll be helpful to them, make them safer and be able to move more quickly. Yes. Sarah, thank you so much. Again, good talking to you. Sarah Townsley, Yavapai County Office of Emergency Management. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.